Last week, Facebook removed Nazi imagery posted by the Trump campaign, a move by the tech giant that unfortunately did come as a surprise to many. The decision to remove the content has renewed scrutiny into tech companies. And joining me now, Roger McNamee, author of the book Zucked, Waking Up to the Facebook Catastrophe, and Jennifer Grygiel, assistant professor of communications, social media, and digital journalism at Syracuse University, and the newest faculty member of the LGBT Studies program at Syracuse. Jennifer, congratulations on that. And thank you for continuing to be with us. It's a great honor and great to have you here. And we get to say we knew you when. Jennifer, what's your take on this? The multiple problems with Facebook are that they allow everybody to say everything. They tend to be late to the party in deciding what to do. But now they've got the ire of the president because they finally decided that Trump's gone too far. How do regular people think about this? Yeah, well, Mark Zuckerberg really was congratulating himself there, but I'm not impressed, and I don't think a lot of the American people are either. What we need is platforms to take on more accountability, to do a better job of regulating their platform and managing it like they're claiming that they're going to. But you can't do it after the fact. You can't do it after such a hateful ad from the president is promoted widely and seen. The harm is already done. And at this point, yes, we need Facebook to clean up their platform to make it better. But the issue is bigger. It has to do with federal propaganda. The president of the United States should not be having such a large megaphone to propagandize Americans like this. Roger, what's your take on this? Because you have written in your book and you have studied this and you've understood that Facebook exists to engage people, and controversial things engage people more than non-controversial things do. And Mark Zuckerberg has turned this into some kind of a mantra about engagement and free speech and platforms. What's the line to walk, and how do they fix it?
So, Ali, I agree with Mark. The last thing on earth I want to see is Facebook or any internet platform determining what qualifies as free speech and what is appropriate speech. The issue here is the business model. I totally think Mark is disingenuous in his framing. This is not a speech issue. This has to do with using algorithms to amplify the content that engages us most intensely. And sadly, hate speech, disinformation, and conspiracy theories are particularly effective because they trigger our self-protection, our flight or fight instincts. And what I want to do is get them out of the business of promoting content at all, amplifying content, because I think if you treat all content equally, then the issues related to hate speech, disinformation, conspiracy theories shrink in magnitude really dramatically. And I think what's going on right now with Facebook and Twitter actually tagging a few things for threatening public safety and for blocking a few things that had lies in them, that is below the bare minimum that they should be doing. They literally let thousands of other tweets through from Trump or posts from Trump that contain lies and contain exaggerations and threats. So we do not want to be giving them any credit here other than to say, well, at least you're doing something. But seriously, guys, this is not nearly enough. And the public should be outraged. The country is going through a period of self-assessment right now, and this is one of the core elements for allowing people to be harmed in our society. It's one of the tools that the harmers are using.
Jennifer, there's some concern that there's no regulation of these companies. Others say they're private companies, and why should they be regulated? But there's none, and the fear is that we do the wrong thing in attempting to regulate them, right? In this case, there's a movement among conservatives who think that social media is anti-conservative. So what does the right, if any, legislation look like to deal with social media? Yeah, and again, I totally agree with what Roger's saying, too. And there's no international laws that govern social media. So it's really been Europe that's pushing, the regulation forward with privacy regulation, duty of care to make sure that there's not harmful content out there on the platform. And at this point, we have to grapple with what's happening here in the United States and what's called Section 230 and how the platforms decide what to pull down and if they're being biased or not. But really, what's core here in the United States is that
these platforms have had broad immunity to moderate content when they need to, but they're not even doing what they've promised to the American people, to users around the world. They have not been pulling down enough content, and they don't even have enough staff or employees to manage the billions of posts that are being put up there. And that's negligence at this point, and it's now starting to come back into play in politics here as we're about to approach another election in the United States. So we need platforms to step up and get it right.
And Roger, I got 30 seconds, but that's a big alarm that you sound, that this translates into voter suppression. This translates into bad information for the upcoming election.
And other people are starting to step up and take a position here. There's a new nonprofit called StopHateForProfit.org, which is being led by the NAACP, which is being led by Color of Change, the ADL, Common Sense Media, Free Press, and Sleeping Giants. People should go to StopHateForProfit.org or just post something on Facebook. They're calling for a pause for the month of July. And we should all join that to let them know that hate is not an appropriate thing on social media or anywhere in our society.
Thanks to both of you, friends, for being with me this morning. Roger McNamee is the author of Zucked, Waking Up to the Facebook Catastrophe. Jennifer Grygiel, Assistant Professor of Communications, Social Media, and Digital Journalism at Syracuse University, and the newest faculty member of the LGBT Studies program at Syracuse. Congratulations again. Thanks to both of you. And that does it for me this morning. AM Joy's up next. But before I go, I want to take a moment to acknowledge all the dads out there